Curtis Engineering Academy presents Soar Intelligence Masterclass. You're about to listen to a life-transforming message by engineer Dr. Opoke Sunday, transforming ordinary people to great leaders as agents of societal change. A visionary leader renowned for his commitment to transforming ordinary individuals into great leaders. His words have inspired countless individuals to rise and become agents of societal change. This isn't just another message, it's a divine appointment. Get ready to unlock new levels of insight and motivation that will shift your mindset and spark the leader in you. Greatness is not reserved for a select few, it's a journey for those who dare to believe, plan, and act. Take a deep breath, open your heart. The transformation starts here. That journey begins right now. You may now tune into the message.
Welcome to Soar Intelligence Masterclass. Like you always know, Soar Intelligence Masterclass is a class designed for total transformation, to transform you in these four major areas of self-development: financial intelligence, human capital development, as otherwise known as wealth creation, then leadership skill for national transformation, and spiritual development and growth. So today, this week, we are looking at financial intelligence, and one of the things we are looking at under financial intelligence today is understanding cash flow analysis. Understanding cash flow analysis, because if we want you to take wise financial decisions, you must have intelligence, the financial intelligence. And if you must have financial intelligence, what are those things that show that you have financial intelligence? If you don't have understanding of your cash flow, because you need to know what is cash flow and then its analysis, because the knowledge of your cash flow will enable you to take informed financial decisions. And today, get ready and pay attention to understand what is cash flow analysis. Let's go. What is cash flow? Cash flow is the movement of money in and out of business or personal finances. How money moves, how money flows. It's called cash flow. Today we are strictly talking money. How do money move from your in and out of your business? You have a small business, you have a big business, no matter the status of your business, you need to understand the movement of money, even in your personal life, even as a civil servant, as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, at whatever class you are, and you have business with money, and you don't want to be poor, you don't want to be broke, you don't want to come to a point where you begin to ask for urgent 2K. So you need to know how money flows in and out of your business. Cash flow is a form of revenue, investment, returns, and loans. Then that's cash inflow. How can money come in? Maybe you are being paid salary, or you have a business, or you provide services or products and services. So however money comes into your hand is called cash inflow. Cash inflow, it can be through revenues, it can be through investment returns, it can be through loans, it can be through salaries. So then how do money flow out? What we call cash outflow. It can be form of expenses, purchases, loans, repayments, anything that takes money out of you, is that cash is flowing out. It's a simple grammar. Now, it's important to determine your financial health, liquidity, and sustainability. Components of a cash flow system. You need to understand the components of cash flow system. We have operating activities, investing activities, financing activities, and then there's a formula for it. So what I want you to understand today is the formula for cash flow. It's very important. What's the formula? We have what's called net cash flow. Net cash flow is the one that actually belongs to you. And how do you get it? You have to subtract your inflow, your outflow from your inflow. Whatever goes out minus what is in will give you the one that you have at hand. Let me repeat so I understand it. Net cash flow is the one that actually belongs to you. That is the one that has gone out from the one that is coming in. Will give you net cash flow. Let's take it this way. You are a salary earner and you earn 100,000. 100,000 naira is not your net cash flow, because you have bills to pay, you have children's school fees to pay, you have expenses to do. So it's after you have removed all your expenses, pay all your paid out, whatever that remain when you have paid out is the net cash flow. And your net cash flow need to be healthy. What do you mean by net cash flow be healthy? You need to be big. You need to be enough. You need to have enough so that you can actually survive in this kind of economy. Now, if we classify from operating, investing, operating activities, you have day-to-day revenue and expenses. Investing activities, you have assets, you have purchased assets, you have sold some investments, and then you have finance activities like loan, equity, dividends, and repayment. So in all these are how cash flows in, the component that actually take in, described as cash flow. But take what I said very seriously. Understand how money comes into your hand and how it moves into your hand. Make sure that what comes in is more than what goes out. That's a summary. What comes in is more than what goes out. And whatever that goes out, make sure you are not broke. Anything that will make you broke, don't do it. Any decision that will make your cash flow negative, don't do it. When you are broke, you will now see the real life. Even your friends will abandon you. Don't get there. Don't even try it. All right. Now, today, we also look at types of cash flow. What are the types of cash flow? It's important for you to know cash flow. We have three major types of cash flow. You have positive cash flow, negative cash flow, and neutral cash flow. Very simple. Positive cash flow, negative cash flow, and neutral cash flow. What is positive cash flow? Positive cash flow is when the inflow is greater than the outflow. In Opoke's model, we call it that stage growth and stability. Anyway, we will get to Opoke's cash flow model, the model I propose, so that when you see survival, stability, and growth, you will understand more. All right, so negative cash flow is when the outflow is greater than the inflow, and that is risk. At that point, you are at risk. Then when it is neutral, is when the inflow is equal to outflow. It's neutral. Yes. Now let's look at Opoke's cash flow model. It's important to understand this Opoke's cash flow model. Yes, what is it? Opoke has proposed 3 stages of cash flow. First stage is survival cash flow, second stage is stable cash flow, and the third stage is growth cash flow. Everybody in this class, even those hearing me, you belong to one of these cash flows. Understand your position, identify your position in Opoke's cash flow model. Identify where you are, and then know how to move into the next level. So survival cash flow is barely minimum to cover your expenses. High volatility, low reserves. What does this mean? There are people who are in this cash flow model. How do those who live from hand to mouth? They live on daily income. If they didn't go out, money will not enter their hand. those people are on survival cash flow, and they are limited to decisions they can take. So any financial decision they take that will mean them, borrowing, being in debt, being dragged here and there. So whatever level you find yourself, make sure you're taking wise financial decision. It's not a crime that you are at the survival stage, maybe as a student, maybe as a dependent, maybe whatever nature puts you in, whatever you are. But the whole idea is that you must make up your mind that you must move out of this stage of cash flow, because this stage of cash flow is very dangerous. In fact, it is the negative cash flow in the other way around, because you can never have enough. So, and it's a very risky cash flow. Then you get to Opoke's second stage of cash flow, which that's called stable cash flow. Stable cash flow, at this stage, you have a predictable income, you have controlled expenses, your business, you have built a system that can sustain itself. This is where your life starts, when you have stable income, stable cash flow. At this point, you have built systems. The entrepreneurs, business people strive to build systems. Why do you build systems? What's the importance of building a system? When you build a system, the system works on its own, and the system makes you to have more time for vacations and for other things. In fact, I have always said it. At any time you are doing business and your business requires your attention 100%, you have not started doing business. You have to automate your business in a way that your business can survive without you. You think of building a system. People who want to be stable and want to be wealthy build systems. It is when you build a system that works hard, it's better than working hard. You need to build a system that works hard than you working hard, because you need to work smart to build a system that can work hard. When you build a system, a self-sustaining system, that is when you can now begin to talk of financial freedom. Yes, we get to another good stage. We talk of growth cash flow. At this point, not only that the system is working and sustaining itself, but there is a surplus in this system. The system is working, and your money is working for you. You are no longer working for money. Now this money is working for, and it's working and generating surplus. This is where everybody wants to get to, where you have enough, more than enough. My brother and sister, you need to get to a point in life where you have more than enough. Don't just say because you have 1 million or 2 million you think you have money. My brother, by the time you do expense, you know that thing is not money. You need to get to a point where in your life money shouldn't be your problem. Why we are teaching you this analysis and cash flow is that you should get to a financial intelligence where you understand that to enjoy this life, you need to get to a point where money is no longer your problem. You have created a system that is working and generating money, and you have enough to do for charity. You have enough to do so many things. Now, people who will travel far, they don't carry much load. See you don't have anything, and you think that the load you are carrying, you are doing this, you are doing this, you are doing this, you cannot do this. Concentrate and build a system that will start generating money. When you build this system, the system will generate money for you, and you have time. Now, you need to invest. How do you get to the point of surplus? It's by investment. It is only investment that can guarantee you that you have surplus. If you cannot invest, how will money multiply? How will you generate enough and surplus? Now, the Opoke cash flow also, at the growth stage, we need to understand that the opportunities for scaling and diversification. What do you mean by scale and diversification? When you have built a system, take when you started in Abuja, or Lagos or in Nigeria or anywhere, wherever you started, you now think of, okay, I started this location, I need to increase my locations. I need to have in every state in Nigeria. I need to have in every country in Africa. I need to have in every country in the world. That is what's called scaling. When you have built a system at a point, at that point you cannot replicate it in other places. Remember, it is only a well-structured system that will guarantee your financial freedom. And you cannot start scaling when you are not sure of having built an automated system. And we're encouraging you to build an automated business system that you can scale anywhere in the world. And when you have scaled it, because it's well structured and scaled, you don't need to bother, because the system itself is generating money, operating on its own, and working freely. All you do is manage it at wherever you are. You can get the point where wherever you are, all you need is just your phone to know what is going on in many locations. But in those locations, there are people working day and night. The systems are working day and night, so that at that point, you can now say you have come to the level of financial freedom. And that's what everybody is looking for. But how do you get there? Now, let's look at the application of Opoke Cash Flow. But we won't dwell on this. When we say application, it means you have to move from survival to stable, from stable to growth. Next. Now, you have another person called Robert Kiyosaki. Cashflow Quadrant is a very popular person who started what's called Cashflow Quadrant. The Robert Kiyosaki Cashflow Quadrant identified 4 quadrants. The first one is called E quadrant, which is E means employee, means you have a job. They have the S quadrant, which is you are self-employed, you own a job. Then a B means you're a business owner, you have built a system. Now I means you are an investor, your money is now working for you. Now what's the goal? The goal for financial freedom is that you have to move from the left side of the quadrant to the right side of the quadrant. 1 and 2, or E and S, is in the left side of the quadrant, whereas B and I is in the right side of the quadrant. So the moment you move from left side of the quadrant to the right side of the quadrant, you have entered into a new world, a world of financial freedom. How do we know those who have entered financial freedom? Financial freedom is a point in your life where money is not your problem. Your problem is security and health. When they say money, that is why, you see, only the poor talks about money. Anytime you hear people complain of money, talk about money, classify the person. Only the poor talks about money. Then the rich talks about things or investments. Now, but the wealthy, what do the wealthy talk about? Ideas. So you need to get to that point where you only talk about ideas, because it's the ideas that rule the world. Yes, we look at the synergy. We are looking at both Opoke's model and Robert Kiyosaki's model. We want to compare the two models. So we are integrating the two models. Let's look at it. Where you see focus is the Robert Kiyosaki, where the model is Opoke. Then you talk of the risk and the financial behavior. So survival model, that is from Opoke. Then at Robert Kiyosaki, survival model is at the left side of the quadrants. Then that time the risk is very high, because you are living from hand to mouth. You are struggling. You don't have money. People think because you have one car, or you are living in somebody's flat, or you are able to pay your rent, you have money. You don't have any money. At that point, you are struggling with so many things. You are struggling to pay bills. You complain a lot. The money is not enough. The salary is not enough. That is why people who belong to this quadrant have always said that salary earners can never be financially free. Because when you're a salary earner, when you wait for the salary, you manage yourself, and there is no way the salary can be enough. But why Opoke model is very important? Because Robert Kiyosaki did not include a time like this generation where there are systems, automation systems, or soft skills. Why even if you are a civil servant, even if you are working, you can have soft skills that can be generating money online or offline. So, but Opoke's model accommodated the today's financial activities. But we'll compare it in later days. But I want to understand that when Robert Kiyosaki was proposing his model, he did not include automation. He did not include soft skills. But here, Opoke has proposed a model that even if you are a civil servant, you can be rich as a civil servant. But we'll tell you how to become rich as a civil servant in maybe our next financial episode or class. Now, stable. Stable means between self-employed and business owner. That's at the medium. So at that time, you are building a system. So, but when you now have finally you are the growth, then you are already at the right side of the quadrant in Kiyosaki. That is business and investor. So the risk is very low, and then money is now working for money. Money working for money, not you again. Your money is now working for you. Very interesting stage. So let's look at it again. Survival stage, the risk is high. You have all your time is concentrated in pursuing money. Your life is buried in pursuing money. That is why those who pursue money, you look at them, you know they are poor. That's why I have already told in this class. Don't pursue money, because if you pursue money, you are already classified as a poor person. What you do is pursue value, pursue systems that will generate money. What is higher than money is whatever that will bring money. So build a system, become an investor. Where your money will be working for you while you are on vacation, where you can travel around the world, and your money is working for you. That's where we want you to get to. Not to, because you are, let me tell you, no matter how much you are being paid as a salary earner, and it's only that salary has never been enough for anybody. But you need to come to a point in your life, because at that time you are working for money. Because anytime you are working, you are earning salary, you are working for money. Simple. No matter how much you are paid, you can never be enough. Even sometimes people think that people who work in other companies, who work in different places, they say, they are being paid maybe 300,000, 500,000, 1 million. How many of them have enough? And when they retire, they return to poverty. Except those who are in that place and they now try to shift, build using that money, save that money, invest that money, and that money build a system that is working on its own and generating more money. If you do not invest to build a system that works on its own to generate money, you will be poor for life. That is why civil servant people get to the apex of their civil service. Maybe even he may interest to know there are some people who will have their names, maybe they become IGP, they became minister, they became so many things they became because they were aliens. And when they retire, they start returning to poverty. Why? They never built a system. They never built financial system that works on itself. Anytime you don't build a system that works on itself to generate money, you are poor. Now, but at the level of being an investor, a business owner, at the level of Opoke's growth, the risk of life is low and it's money for money. So thank you very much. Next. Now let's look at the tools for cash flow analysis. Tools for cash flow analysis. What are the tools we use in doing the analysis? We have 5 major tools. The first is software. I want to recommend to you some softwares you can use to do your financial analysis. One of those softwares is called QuickBooks. You have Xero, you have Excel, you have Zoho Books. So these are softwares you can download and then to help you to analyze your finances If you have a small business or bookkeeping, it's important to have bookkeeping means you record what comes into your business, how you move money in and out of your business, and then it is these softwares that they can help you to do more of the analysis, and at the end you'll be able to know whether you have a negative cash flow or positive cash flow or neutral cash flow. There are other tools like tech tools, technological tools. You have AI for forecasting, you have automation for expenses tracking, and dashboard for real-time insight. These are tools you can use to do your analysis. Now, there are red flags in cash flow. You need to know this. Red flags in cash flow. When do you see red flags in cash flow? What do you mean? When you have constant negative cash flow, when your pocket is always zero or red, no money in your bank account, no money in your pocket, no, you are not saving any money, no money anywhere. It's a red flag. That's negative cash flow. At that point, you may be either a needy. I have told you, I proposed another model called the needy, the poor, the comfort, the rich, and the wealth zone. So let me quickly run through that. Now we say the needy zone is at the point where you don't have anything. You can't help yourself. You always begging anything. You always begging everybody. OJ 2K, OJ 1K, recharge my card, recharge my phone, recharge this. You beg virtually for everything. You struggle for food when you go for function. You struggle for food, struggle for water, struggle for everything because you are hungry. You don't need that kind of life. You see, so now when you are in constant, negative cash flow, is a red flag. Then when you are rising expenses with stagnant income, your income is stagnant and your expenses increasing, you need to be very careful at this point. You have, maybe you are earning 50,000 naira and you discover that you are spending before the month ends, you already spending maybe like 80,000, 100,000. I mean, it's risky because you have income, but your expense is more than your income. You don't need to get to a point where your expenses is more than your income. It's a red flag. It's also a red flag when there's poor receivable management. It's also a red flag when you over dependent on external financing. You want your one uncle somewhere. That's why uncle is not helping me, brother is not helping me, father is not helping me, mother is not helping me, brother, you complain because you depend on people. We are telling you, you cannot depend on people and have a life. That thing is not life. When you are depending on people, you don't have life. You need to learn skills. You need to do something urgently to come out from that red flag. Because you can buy from there. Anything like hunger will take you, anything sickness will take you, any small thing will take away your life. Is a very risky stage. Now, how do you improve your cash flow? We have strategies on how to improve your cash flow. What are those strategies? We're looking at 5 strategies for now. First is shorten receivable cycles. 2, reduce unnecessary expenses. Diversify income streams. What called diversification of your income or income stream. So you don't need, nobody makes it with one source of income. Take this from me. Nobody makes it or becomes rich with one source of income. You need to diversify your income. What's called income streams. You have different streams of income. You need to earn from Facebook, you need to earn from wherever you're working. You start think of how to devise a means of having more than one source of income. It's very, very important. You want to diversify your business. That's why some people, when they grow their business to a certain stage, they diversify maybe that chain of that business or maybe other businesses. They invest more, because if you have one source of income, if anything happens, maybe disaster can come, anything can happen, and That's how you become so poor. So you need to diversify. If it happens to this side, you take from this side. And sometimes you use one stream income to sponsor another stream income. You use another stream income to build another stream income. All you are doing is to make sure you have positive cash flow. Your aim is to be financially free. Yes, you invest, move towards growth model, or Robert Kiyosaki's right side quadrant called B and I. So when you say move towards growth model, that's Opoke's model, is growth model, while Robert Kiyosaki's model is a BI quadrant. In our conclusion and call to action, so you need to master your cash flow. Very important. From today, as you leave this class, begin to set records to know how much you actually earn in a day, in a week, in a month, and how much you spend. Take a record. You can use Google Docs. You can use Excel. You can use any other means to record your expenses and track your expenses. It's important to record and track your expenses to actually come to a point where if you want to take financial decisions, you will be at a very safe stand to say you are doing this. It's not when you go to church and they say the church people have a way of manipulating people. They will manipulate you and say we're having a church building and they want someone to give me 5 million. And you know you don't have 2 million in your account and you're coming before the church and say I'll give you 5 million. You don't have 2 million and you're promising 5 million. From where is it going to come from? So anytime you are taking financial decision, you can't take financial decision if you don't know your inflow and outflow. Because every decision you are taking from net flow. If you don't take decision from your net flow, you can take wrong decision and you can be in debt, and it can lead you to poverty, it can lead you to hunger, it can lead you to so many things. It can lead to doing evil. Because when you are hungry, they say a hungry man is an angry man is a wicked man. And a wicked man can do anything. All right, understand your current stage. So, like I said before, understand the stage you are. In Opoke's model, are you in survival stage? Are you in a stable stage? Are you in a growth model? In Robert Kiyosaki's stage, are you in the left side of the quadrant or are you in the right side of the quadrant? Then use insight from both models to scale your wealth. Now, call to action. Track, optimize, and automate your cash flow. Very, very important. Track, optimize, and automate your cash flow. It's important at every point in time to know how much you worth. Your worth, your net worth is because if you don't know your net worth, then you are making a mistake. From today, understand what your network is, because your network will produce your net worth. Your network will produce your net worth, and your net worth is your real value. So at every point in time, make sure you track your expenses, automate your business, automate your expenses, and then optimize it. Now, we are coming to the end of this class. What have you learned? What have you learned in this class? Like I said, there are things you must learn. You must take note today that any financial decision you take must be taken from the point of clear idea of your net cash flow. Net cash flow. Because it's only your net cash flow is your real worth. If you have negative cash flow, don't take decision that will take you more to negative cash flow. Don't take decision that will take you to being in debt or borrowing. If you are borrowing, borrow for investment, not for consumption. We have talked about good debts last week. that you can be in good debt. Good debt means you are borrowing money for investment. So, but if it is not for investment, any money you are borrowing, anything you are doing on a negative cash flow, you are at risk. And finally, make sure that your business, because it's important you walk into your business at any time, any day, and have a clear idea of what your business is worth. No matter what you are selling, take note. You can come to Business Engineering Academy. We can automate your business for you. Automating your business for you means we can teach you how to use softwares like Zoho Books, like Excel, like QuickBooks, to understand and analyze your business. So at every point in time, you have an idea of what and the stage your business is.